Why is Shedeur Sanders already making noise before the season even starts? Because while some of the biggest names in the league are choosing to sit back, take their time, and skip voluntary workouts, Shedeur just sent a message loud and clear. He's not here to wait his turn. He showed up. And that might not sound like a big deal at first. It's just a voluntary 3-day workout, right? No pads, no real pressure, nothing on the line. But that's exactly what makes this move stand out. He didn't have to be there, and that's the whole point. See, moments like this don't show up on stat sheets. They don't trend the same way highlight plays do. But inside a locker room, they matter. Coaches notice, teammates notice, and more importantly, competitors notice. Because let's be real, this isn't just about getting reps in April. This is about positioning. This is about walking into a new environment and quietly telling everyone, I'm here to take over. And what makes this even more interesting is the contrast. While Shedeur is stepping in early, embracing the grind, and building chemistry from day one, others are choosing a completely different approach. And that difference, it's already starting conversations. Some fans are calling it hunger, others are calling it strategy. And then there are those who believe this is the first sign of something much bigger, a shift in the quarterback room that nobody saw coming. But here, where things get even more interesting. Because this wasn't just about showing up, it was about when and why he chose to do it. It didn't come with a big announcement, no dramatic headline, no over-the-top moment. But when Shedeur Sanders walked into those voluntary workouts, people started paying attention real fast. Because here's the thing, he didn't have to be there. This wasn't mandatory minicamp. This wasn't training camp. This was a 3-day voluntary workout, the kind of thing a lot of players, especially ones with hype, expectations, and a spotlight already on them, might choose to skip or ease into later. But not Shedeur. He showed up early alongside teammates, stepping straight into a system led by Todd Monken. And that decision, it says way more than any press conference ever could. Because when a young quarterback walks into a building before he's required to, that's not about attendance, that's about intent. It's about sending a quiet message. I'm not waiting, I'm starting now. And people inside the building notice that. Coaches see it immediately. Teammates pick up on it without a word being said. Because in a league where talent is everywhere, the difference often comes down to who's willing to do a little more, a little earlier, a little louder, without actually speaking. Now here, where it gets interesting. This isn't just any position, this is quarterback, the one role where leadership isn't optional, it's expected. You're not just learning plays, you're setting a tone. And whether fans want to admit it or not, moments like this start shaping narratives fast. Suddenly, it's not just about what Shedeur can do on the field, it's about what he's already doing off it. Some fans are already calling it a sign of discipline. Others see it as a calculated move to get ahead in a crowded QB room. And there's even talk, just talk, that this could be the first real step towards separating himself before things even get competitive. But let's be clear, it's early. Nothing has been decided, no roles have been locked in, and showing up doesn't guarantee anything. But it does one thing for sure, it puts you on the radar. And right now, Shedeur Sanders isn't just on the radar, he's starting to stand out. But as much attention as his arrival is getting, the real conversation started when people noticed who wasn't there. But while Shedeur Sanders showing up early started turning heads, the real conversation didn't begin until people noticed who wasn't there. And that's where things got a little more complicated. Because one of the biggest names tied to this situation, Myles Garrett, was noticeably absent from these voluntary workouts. And almost instantly, the debate took off. Now let's be clear, this isn't unusual. Veteran players, especially established stars, questioning it, not aggressively, but enough to stir conversation. Should a leader be there, even if it's optional? Does showing up send a stronger message to a new coaching staff? Or is this just overthinking something that doesn't really matter in the long run? And that's where opinions split. On one side, you've got people saying, it would have been nice to see him there. New system, new energy, new leadership under Todd Monken. Why not be present, even for a few days? Not because he needs it, but because it sets a tone. But on the other side, there's a completely different perspective. This is Myles Garrett we're talking about, a player who's already established himself as one of the most dominant forces in the league. He doesn't need voluntary workouts to prove commitment. His work has already spoken, loud and clear. So now the question isn't really about right or wrong. It's about contrast. Because at the exact same time, one player is choosing to show up early and make a statement. Another is leaning on experience, trusting the process, and preparing in his own way. And that contrast, that's what people can't stop talking about. Some fans are reading into it, suggesting it reflects different mindsets. Others are brushing it off, saying it means absolutely nothing once the season kicks off. And then there are those who think this entire debate is being blown way out of proportion. But here's the truth. In a league where every small move gets analyzed, compared, and debated, even something as simple as showing up or not showing up can turn into a storyline. And this one, it's just getting started. Because once you start comparing mindsets, the conversation doesn't stay small for long. At first glance, it might seem simple. Shedeur Sanders showed up to a voluntary workout. Cool, good work ethic, end of story, right? Not even close. Because when you really break it down, this move carries way more weight than people realize. See, this isn't just about effort. It's about timing and position. And when you combine those two things, especially at the quarterback spot, it changes everything. Quarterback isn't like any other role on the field. You're not just another player trying to earn snaps. You're expected to lead, command respect, and take control of an entire offense. And the truth is, that process doesn't start in week one. It starts in moments like this, quiet, early, almost overlooked moments. That's where Shedeur is already making his move. Because while everyone else is still easing into the offseason, he's stepping into the building, learning the system under Todd Monken, and more importantly, getting comfortable with teammates before things get intense. And that matters more than people think. Reps now mean confidence later. Familiarity now means faster decisions later. And trust built now, that's the kind of thing that shows up in big moments when the pressure hits. But there's another layer to this. This isn't a guaranteed situation. There's already buzz around the quarterback room, with names like Watson still in the picture, and others possibly competing for position. Nothing is locked in, nothing is promised. And when you're in that kind of environment, you don't wait. You separate. Now some reports suggest this could just be Shedeur getting a head start. Others say it's a calculated move to position himself as a serious contender early on. And fans, they're already reading into it, wondering if this is the beginning of a bigger shift behind the scenes. But regardless of what people believe, one thing is clear. He's not treating this like a casual off-season. He's treating it like an opportunity. And that mindset, that's usually what separates players who hope for a role from players who quietly take it. Because while talent might get you noticed, moments like this build momentum. And once momentum starts building in the NFL, it doesn't take long before everything changes. But here, where it gets even deeper. Because this decision didn't just impact his own chances, it may have already started influencing how the entire locker room sees him. Here, where things start to get really interesting, because this isn't just about effort anymore. There's something quietly developing behind the scenes, and not everyone is paying attention to it yet. The quarterback room. On paper, it might look settled. You've got a big name like Deshaun Watson still attached to the situation. You've got other names floating around, like Dylan Gabriel, depending on how things shake out. And from the outside looking in, some fans assume everything is already decided. But insiders, and even fans watching closely, are starting to question that. Because when a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders shows up early, locks in, and starts building chemistry before anyone else, it changes the dynamic. Suddenly, it's not just about talent anymore. It's about momentum. And momentum in the NFL, that's dangerous. Now let's be clear, there's been no official announcement, no confirmation of any kind of shakeup, but there's been growing buzz online. Some reports suggest that the competition might be more open than people think. Others say it's too early to even consider that conversation. But fans, they're already connecting dots. They're looking at Shedeur showing up early. They're looking at uncertainty around the position, and they're starting to wonder, what if this isn't as locked in as it seems? And that's where the speculation begins. You'll see comments like, if he keeps this up, he might force their hand, or don't be surprised if things shift faster than expected. Now again, this is just talk, nothing confirmed, but the fact that people are even having that conversation this early, that says a lot. Because quarterback battles don't always start in training camp. Sometimes they start right here, in moments nobody expects. Early workouts, quiet reps, subtle impressions being made behind closed doors. And what makes this even more interesting is the timing. If Shedeur can stack days like this, showing consistency, building trust, learning fast, then by the time things do get competitive, he's not starting from zero. He's already ahead. And in a league where every edge matters, that kind of head start can flip an entire situation. But here's the real twist. Because this isn't just about competing for a spot, it's about how the coaching staff is watching all of this unfold. Now here, where this situation takes another turn, because it's not just about who shows up, it's about what they're showing up to. And right now, everything is being shaped by Todd Monken. A new system, a new voice, a completely fresh offensive approach. And whenever that happens in the NFL, one thing is always true, everything resets. It doesn't matter what you did last season. It doesn't matter what your name is or how big your contract might be. When a new system comes in, every player has to learn it from the ground up. Timing, terminology, reads, adjustments, all of it. Which means this is the perfect window to get ahead. And that's exactly why Shedeur Sanders being there early matters even more than people think. Because while others might take their time easing into the system, he's already getting familiar with it. He's hearing the play calls. He's understanding the rhythm. He's starting to see how Monken wants things executed, not in theory, but in real time. And that kind of early exposure, it adds up fast. Now reports around the league suggest that Monken's system relies heavily on timing, quick decision-making, and strong communication with receivers. It's not just about arm talent, it's about processing speed and control. And if that's true, then getting those extra reps early isn't just helpful, it's critical. Because by the time mandatory sessions roll around, the players who started early aren't just learning anymore, they're operating. And that's a huge difference. Now some fans believe this system could open the door for a younger quarterback to step in and compete sooner than expected. Others think experience will still win out in the end. And again, nothing has been confirmed. It's all speculation at this point. But what is clear is that Monken is watching. Every rep, every decision, every small detail. And when a coach is installing something new, they tend to gravitate toward the players who pick it up the fastest, the ones who show they can lead it, not just run it. So while it might look like just another off-season workout from the outside, inside that building, this is evaluation season. Quiet, subtle, but very real. And if Shedeur keeps stacking days like this, learning faster, building chemistry, beyond the playbook, beyond the reps, beyond the system itself. This move might already be changing how his teammates see him. Here's something a lot of people overlook. The biggest impact of this move might not be on the field at all. It's inside the locker room. Because when Shedeur Sanders walks in early, before anything is required, he's not just learning plays, he's being watched. Every teammate sees it. And in the NFL, players don't just listen to what you say, they pay attention to what you do. Especially when you're a quarterback. That position comes with an unspoken rule. You're expected to lead, whether you've earned it yet or not. And leadership doesn't start with speeches or interviews. It starts with small actions, showing up early, putting in extra work, being present when you don't have to be. That's how respect is built. Now imagine being a veteran in that locker room. You've seen young players come and go. You've heard the hype before, but then you notice this rookie or young QB already locked in, already working, already trying to connect with teammates. That stands out. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it earns attention. And attention turns into trust over time. Now on the flip side, situations like this also create quiet comparisons. Not in a toxic way, but in a natural, human way. Players start noticing who's around, who's engaged, who's taking initiative. And when you compare someone like Shedeur showing up early to situations where veterans like Miles Garrett choose to handle the offseason differently, it sparks conversations, even if nobody says them out loud. Some players respect the veteran approach, he's earned it. Others gravitate toward the energy of someone grinding early. Both can exist at the same time. But here the key. If you're trying to step into a leadership role, especially at quarterback, you don't wait for that respect to be handed to you. You build it, day by day, rep by rep, moment by moment. And that's exactly what this looks like. Now there's been some buzz among fans suggesting that this could help Shedeur win over teammates faster. Others think it's too early for that kind of talk. And again, nothing is confirmed. It's just speculation based on what people are seeing. But the pattern is clear. When you show up early, people notice. When you stay consistent, people start to believe. And when belief starts building inside a locker room, that's when things really begin to shift. Because at the end of the day, talent might get you on the field. But respect, that's what keeps you there. And right now, without saying a single word, Shedeur Sanders might already be starting to earn it. But here, where it all comes together, because the fans watching this unfold are beginning to draw their own conclusions. Now here, where everything starts to take on a life of its own, because once fans get involved, the story doesn't stay quiet for long. The moment Shedeur Sanders showed up to those voluntary workouts, social media lit up. And not just casual reactions either, people started analyzing. You've got fans saying, "This is exactly what you want from your future QB." Others are pointing out how rare it is to see someone step in this early and take initiative without being forced to. And then there's a whole group already jumping ahead, claiming this is the first sign that something bigger is coming. But at the same time, not everyone is sold. Some fans are pushing back, saying it's way too early to read into something like this. After all, showing up to a voluntary workout doesn't automatically translate to success on the field. We've seen hype before. We've seen early excitement before. So now you've got two sides forming. One side sees this as a clear sign of discipline, hunger, and leadership potential. The other sees it as a small moment being blown out of proportion. And right in the middle of all that, the speculation. Because once fans start connecting dots, things escalate quickly. You'll see comments like, "He's already outworking everyone," or "Don't be surprised if he pushes for QB1 sooner than expected." Now again, there's no confirmation of anything like that. It's just what people are saying. But the fact that these conversations are even happening this early, that's what makes this moment different. And then there's The comparison factor. Fans are naturally comparing this move to others around the team. They're looking at who showed up, who didn't, and what that might mean moving forward. Not in a negative way necessarily, but in a way that builds narratives. Because that's what fans do. They build stories before the season even begins. And right now, Shedeur is at the center of one. Now some reports and online discussions suggest that momentum like this can quickly turn into real opportunity if it's backed up with performance. Others say it fades just as fast if it's not consistent. But either way, the spotlight is growing. And once that spotlight locks in on a player, every move gets magnified, every rep gets noticed, every decision gets talked about. And that's exactly where Shedeur Sanders is right now. Not just participating, but becoming a storyline. And if that momentum keeps building the way it is now, this could turn from off-season buzz into something much bigger once the season actually gets closer. But here's the real question. What happens if he backs all of this up when it actually counts? So when you step back and look at everything, this wasn't just about a voluntary workout. This was a statement. Because what Shedeur Sanders did here isn't going to show up in stats. There's no box score for showing up early. No headline that fully captures what it means to walk into a building before you're required to and start putting in work. But inside that organization, it matters more than people think. It sets a tone. And sometimes, the smallest moments end up being the ones that define everything later. Now, does this guarantee anything? No. He hasn't won a starting job. He hasn't played a single snap at this level yet. And there are still experienced names in the room, including Deshaun Watson, who have already proven they can compete at the highest level. So nothing is locked in. But that's exactly why this moment stands out. Because when nothing is guaranteed, every move matters just a little bit more. And right now, Shedeur isn't waiting for things to fall into place. He's trying to create his opportunity before the real competition even begins. Some fans believe this is the beginning of a bigger shift. Others think it's just early off-season energy that won't mean much once the season starts. And the truth, it's probably somewhere in between. But what can't be ignored is the pattern. Show up early, learn faster, build trust, stay consistent. That's how momentum starts. And in the NFL, momentum is everything. Because once a player builds it, once coaches start noticing, once teammates start believing, once fans start buying in, it doesn't take much for things to change quickly. A few strong practices, a couple standout moments, and suddenly the conversation isn't about potential anymore. It's about reality. And that's why this moment feels different. Not because of what it is on the surface, but because of what it could turn into. Because if Shedeur Sanders backs this up with performance, if he keeps stacking days, keeps building that trust, keeps showing that same level of focus, then this won't just be remembered as the day he showed up early. It'll be remembered as the moment everything started. And that's the part nobody can ignore.